Well, hi there and welcome. It's Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you can talk about just about anything today. It's our monthly unscripted show on this great feast of St. John Bosco. I'm Jerry Usher along with Debbie Georgiani. We have the show team. Ace McKay is our producer. Matt Gabensky is the one you'll talk to when you call in. And Rich Jesse is on social media today. And Debbie, it's, like I said, just about anything people would like to talk about today.
Our monthly unscripted is very, very popular. This is the last day of January, so this is your chance to revisit past topics that we've discussed together as the Take Two family. You can suggest future topics. We are adding to the calendar for March already, so you could add some topics, or you can address anything, pretty much anything, like Jerry said, that's on your mind or heart. We can talk about it. If you have a situation that's going on in your family or in your work, we'd like to talk about that as well, because we are the mystical body of Christ. Here is the number, unscripted. Let's go, folks. 833-288-3986.
This is also one of those shows when if you were on the line on a previous episode and we didn't have time to get to you, that's the only thing we dislike about the show is we have to end it at a certain point every day, and that leaves many of you on the line unable to get on the program. So if you were on hold during a previous broadcast, just let Matt know that when you call in. We'll put you up near the top of the order there. The number is 833-288-3986. 3986. So much going on in the world, in the church, probably in your life. And we can talk about, like we say, just about anything here. You can call in with your take on today's your question or your topic. You can post it on social media, Facebook or YouTube. We're streaming the video there. Hello. You can post it on you can email us, take2@EWTN.com, and on the show website at take2show.com.
Couple open lines, and so you can get right in, 833-288-3986. Remember that we are a safe platform for all of us to come together and to talk about things. We don't really want to have some big arguments or debates. We really want to just get to know one another and explore things together and walk away, like we always say, a little bit changed, a little bit closer to God. So you don't have to be Catholic to call in. If you're listening, we consider you part of the family. 833-288-3986. And Jerry, since it's unscripted, may I please add something to this episode?
Sure.
Fullness of Truth conferences. They are wonderful. And I have had the privilege, honor, and experience of being able to be a speaker at a few of them. And I'm very excited that there's one coming up right around the corner during Lent. And it's in Alexandria, Louisiana. And it's February 23rd through the 25th. It's titled Real Presence, Real Power, the Eucharistic Life, and the Science of Sainthood. And it's just super exciting. And listen to the lineup of speakers. I'm one of them. And then we've got Matthew Leonard, amazing, Dr. Brant Petrie, Dr. Michael Barber, Aaron Franco, and music by Josh Blakesley. I mean, just amazing. And I'm going to get to do the youth track as well as speak for the adults. And I'm just so thrilled about that. I'm going to bring in Blessed Carlo Acutis. And so please, folks, if you're in driving distance, walking distance, flying distance, get registered at fullnessoftruth.org for the Real Presence, Real Power Conference, February 23rd to the 25th. And I understand they are going to hopefully sell out, so that's exciting.
Hope they do. I imagine they will. They usually do for those conferences. Speaking of Blessed Carlo Acutis, we got an email. Actually, Christine called in. Christine from Indianapolis left a message, said, "We need even more prayers. My sister with blood cancer now has the flu, sepsis, and infections and is suffering greatly. I have been inspired to ask Carlo Acutis to intercede for her. Please join me in that." So, Christine in Indianapolis, you will have the prayers of the entire Take Two family going up with you. Yeah.
I've got the prayer book out because we have prayers tomorrow too, because it's the first of the month and it's whom or what are you praying for. But this is unscripted, so we really want to hear from you. If you want a praise report, you need prayers, you want to talk about something, this is your show. This is the place so we come together. We are friends, we are family. Let's go, folks. Fill up those phone lines, 833-288-3986. And I just got a message saying, can you give the website again on Fullness of Truth? Yes, fullnessoftruth.org. Thank you so much.
Okay, fullnessoftruth.org. 833-288-3986. We have some shows that we do regularly once a month. One of them is Unscripted. Another is all about relationships. Debbie mentioned our Whom or What Are You Praying For show tomorrow. That's one of our 2 monthly prayer shows. The other one is Urgent Prayer Intentions around the middle of the month. So today, here at the end of this month, before we get into February, we have an opportunity to talk with you about just about any topic you would like to bring up. You can talk about your faith life, your prayer life, your work life, your family life, what's going on in your neighborhood, your state, your town, our country, the church, and we'll just do our best, as Debbie said, to have a friendly conversation about whatever it is that's on your mind or on your heart. So got about 2 or 3 lines still open. Matt Gabinski is screening some calls, so here is the number for you to dial, 833-288-3986.
I love the Take Two family. Yes, when I go to the Fullness of Truth conference, I will be talking about Blessed Carlo Acutis. Yes, yes, and yes. I love talking about him, Jerry. Absolutely love it. I love talking about his mom, Antonia Salzano Acutis, and I just love. Wow, I think he's such a powerhouse of a saint. What do you say?
I agree. He's getting more and more popular by the minute, practically, and I think God raises up people like him for certain times in world history. So he's definitely a saint for our time. And speaking of saints for our time, I want to, if I can quickly mention, I don't know if I mentioned this to you or Ace off the air, a saint that goes back to the time of Jesus is St. Jude. And the arm of St. Jude, a relic of the arm of St. Jude, is making its way around the United States with Father Carlos Martins of the Companions of the Cross. And Debbie, our parish here, the Basilica of St. Paul, will host it on Friday, February 23rd, 3 weeks from this Friday. And we're expecting massive crowds. So if anybody's in the Central Florida area, or if you want to get here, it's the Basilica of St. Paul. Go to stpauldaytona.org for information. You'll see it right there on the homepage. Click a link. But we are so excited. It's a several-inch long piece of one of the arms of St. Jude, and it's making its way around the country. So it'll be here in Daytona Beach if anybody wants to come and join us for that. Friday, February 23rd. Veneration starts at 2 p.m., goes to 10 p.m. with a Mass at 7 o'clock. So
very cool.
Okay, we're going to get started with your phone calls here in a moment. 833-288-3986. It is Unscripted. Almost anything goes here on this episode of Take Two.
EWTN Radio is seeking a dynamic radio producer to join the EWTN radio team in Irondale, Alabama. The right candidate will be a passionate, multi-skilled, talented professional who can manage and direct all aspects of producing world-class radio broadcasts and play an integral part in Mother Angelica's mission. If this is you or someone you know, email a resume and cover letter including salary requirements to humanresources@EWTN.com.
This is Life Issues with Brad Mattis, president of Life Issues Institute.
The Pennsylvania Department of Health released its annual report on abortion, and the results should concern us all. They have 18 abortion mills in the state, and half failed health inspections last year. So we shouldn't be surprised the number of complications from abortion tripled during recent years. A vast majority of the complications involved leaving parts of the baby behind in the uterus. Second was bleeding, and third was infection. Another unsurprising fact was abortion in Pennsylvania disproportionately affects blacks. Blacks account for close to half of all abortions done, but represent only 11% of the population. Clearly, the abortion industry is targeting women of color. These statistics show legal abortion is both dangerous and racist.
Follow us on social media at Life Issues Institute.
Okay, a lot of calls to get to. One line is open. It might have your name on it. Unscripted. What topic would you like to discuss here on the program? It's your show every day that we air this show, but most especially on Unscripted because we don't bring a topic. You do at 288-3986. Very quickly, before we go to the calls, you can carry EWTN with you wherever you go. You can download the free EWTN app and enjoy live TV, radio streams, audio and video on demand. Of course, you get EWTN news, all of the program schedules, prayers, devotionals. It is maybe the number one Catholic app in the world. I don't know. It's got to be very close. EWTN app. Download it at EWTNapps.com today.
So we're talking about all these wonderful events happening in Louisiana and in Florida. And so Mary Beth just sent a message in and said, when are you guys coming to New York? We're working on a reunion, a stand tall, another event, and a pilgrimage. So we're working on things. It's just hard to choose an area at the right time with everybody's schedules, but we're working on it. We have, and definitely New York is one of the areas. I'd like to get back to the North American martyrs, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be really cool. But we're working on it, folks, and we know we're hearing all of your messages and reading all of them, and everybody's ready for a reunion.
Yeah.
So that's good. Okay, Lisa is in San Antonio, Texas, on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Lisa.
Hello. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I was just calling in because I wanted to seek prayer for my brother Edward and his wife Nicole. They are struggling right now. They've been married for 3 years, I believe, maybe 4, and their baby is due in April. And I think with all the pregnancy hormones going on, they're having a really rough patch, and now they're talking divorce. And so I just want to lift them up in prayer because I really think that they can get through this, get over this hump. But we just need some prayer warriors.
Absolutely. We put them, your brother Ed and Nicole, in the book, Lisa. Lisa, since you're so close with them, are they seeking out any professional help for this so they don't wait for like something to happen after the baby's born, like postpartum depression or anything like that? Because the reason why I say that is we do a lot of life coaching and we work with couples engaged couples and then couples that are starting their family. And it really would be beneficial, I think, if they had some professional help. Have you suggested to them to maybe go to a Catholic counselor or a therapist just to make sure that they have that support?
Definitely, but she's not open to anything. I mean, my brother's attending church by himself. She doesn't want any counseling. She's just doesn't want to, she's like shutting down, I guess. But she doesn't want to seek any type of help.
Yeah. Then we need to really pray because a lot of times it doesn't just... Well, let's be hopeful and pray in that direction that when after she has the baby, things will get better. But let's also, continue to pray that she'll be open down the road because a lot of times you want to get these professionals in now rather than later because once it goes too far down where there's a lot of problems and continued separation or fighting or anything like that, it's harder and harder to bring it back together.
Absolutely, I agree, and that's exactly what I've told our family. I'm like, well, all we can do is pray, Yeah.
And maybe Lady Undoer of Knots, let's do some novenas. Mm-hmm. Actually, Lisa, since you're the sister of your brother there, can you maybe add a little fasting on behalf of your brother and his wife and see if we get some quicker, a faster movement in this direction?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, cool. And it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be fasting from food. It could be just fasting from like electronics or fasting from TV or something like that. Okay?
Okay. All right. Okay. Will do. Thank you all so much.
Thanks, Lisa, for the call. 833-288-3986. It is Unscripted today on Take 2 with Jerry and Debbie and you. We'll go to Loren next in Rochester, New York, listening on the Station of the Cross. Hi, Loren. Welcome.
Hi. How are you?
Doing well. How about you?
Good. I don't have so much a question, but a comment. I heard you before the break talking about the relic of St. Jude, and I just was inspired to call because they brought the relic to our church recently, and I was able to go and venerate, and it was just an amazing experience. Yeah. So hopefully with you, talking about it, coming around more people will be able to go and see this, experience this, once in a lifetime. For me, I feel, soulful experience.
My understanding is this is the first time the relic has ever been out of Italy. So it's a very big deal. I'd be curious to know, Loren, if you can give me just a ballpark, how big is your parish, and how many people was this like really jammed, crowded? We're 3 weeks out from our visit.
When I was there, the line was moving. It was relatively long, but not unbearable. And the really inspiring thing about even waiting in that line was that, you start talking to people, and at our parish, it was a last-minute thing. We didn't even know it was going to be happening until a few days before, and they really got the word out. So I was standing in line, and I met a really wonderful lady who told me and my kids, "Do you want to hear about my St. Jude novena that I prayed and that worked for me?" And it was just so inspiring to hear her story about, what the novena meant to her that she had prayed earlier, in her life, and how it, it helped with a situation in her life. And then I had to go somewhere, but I said, I'm going to go back because I couldn't get into confession right there. Wanted to go back. I met another wonderful lady waiting in line for confession. So the whole experience, seeing the relic, venerating it, meeting people, the confessions, the mass, they had a mass. It was just something I probably won't ever forget.
Yeah, it's an event. It really is a multifaceted event, and I'm glad you had that experience, Loren. Just want to let people know, if they're curious about where this St. Jude, the Arm of St. Jude tour is going. You can find that at apostleoftheimpossible.com, since he is the patron of hopeless and impossible and desperate cases. Apostleoftheimpossible.com. Loren, thank you very much for shedding some light on that for us. You've gotten me even more excited now for February 23rd here at my parish.
And what I have heard from various reports from around the country, it's pretty packed when the relic shows up. Yeah. So that's great. So expect the crowds, and that's a good thing during Lent. Yeah.
All right, 833-288-3986. What would you like to talk about today? Going on in your life, someone else's life, your family, your neighborhood, the church, the world? 833-288-3986. Danny is in Cleveland, Ohio, listening on The Rock to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Hi, Danny.
Hi, Jerry and Debbie, and may the grace of the good Lord Jesus Christ be with you. Nice. I am praying for that first email that you read about the sepsis and the blood cancer. If you guys recall, I called a few months ago. I had kidney cancer. That's the key word. We were able to take out part of the kidney, and the pathology report came back good. No treatment, no radiation. It's a long road to recovery with some headaches and some nausea, but we are getting there. It's post 7 weeks today, so I thought it was a perfect day to let you guys know what's going on. And again, it's just a long road to recovery. Still looking for prayers and asking for prayers, but the important thing is prayers work, because the cancer didn't spread, and we are going back to work next Wednesday doing the Lord's work as a nurse. And I want to just say thank you guys to you two. Have to take it slow there, Debbie. I heard that. Wow. I've got to take it. I'm only doing 3 days a week, which is 8-hour shift as a nurse. But I just am going to do the Lord's work and take care of people. And I owe it to my family, most importantly, my mom, Teresa, my family, and my EWTN family. So, I just want to say thank you to everybody, and prayers work. And let's just keep praying for everybody, especially to St. Peregrine for those who have cancer.
Yes. Oh, Danny, what a glorious day it is today. We are praising God with you. Way to go. Thank you, God. Thank you, all of the angels and saints. Danny, we're so happy for you. And now you can get back to your job, your career, your vocation, your ministry. And you're right. You're going to pace yourself, do it slowly, but you got a lot of life to live, and you got a lot of work to do. So God wants you here to help others, and you're doing it so beautifully with your heart. It's so obvious. It's coming right through the radio. Danny, we're so happy today. What a great day.
Yeah, and Danny, I have a quick question, if you don't mind. I know we always we love nurses, teachers, first responders on the show, and people who are just really out there doing the kind of vocational work that you do. So your heart is already very, very beautiful in how you treat the patients and all of that. I'm just curious if you have any sense of how, having been through this yourself, how this might, speculation maybe, but how this might even change how you approach your work as a nurse.
It's going to change it dramatically.
Yeah.
There are days, it's sometimes as we all go in, and that's a terrible thing to say, it's just the job. But no, I'm going in with more perseverance to do the Lord's work and to bow down to the cross to say, hey, I'm still having some residual after effects, again, the fatigue, nausea, and headaches, but it's going to dissipate, and we're going to do the Lord's work, and we're going to take it easy, like I told Debbie and you, but we're going to approach things from a different light and with more, the 4 C's in nursing: caring, compassion, Christianity, and a little bit of comedy.
There you go.
Good deal.
Awesome.
Love that comedy part, Danny.
Thanks, Danny. God bless you. Prayers will continue. We can assure you of that.
Yeah.
But we're so happy to hear this beautiful praise report, folks.
Absolutely.
So,
and you got to keep a sense of humor, right?
Yeah,
you just have to
indeed.
through all this.
And we have to give glory to God when prayers are answered, and God does beautiful things like this, like He did in Danny's life. So, beautiful.
You can hear the gratitude in Danny's heart. It's beautiful. Yeah, it is beautiful. That's the best way to describe that call. So let's hear what Joy has to say in Grants Pass, Oregon, on his Mercy Radio. Hi, Joy.
Hi. This must be Nurse Cancer Survival Day. I called about a month or less ago, and I asked for prayer, because I'm facing pancreatic cancer, and so I was praying at that time that I would get an appointment soon. And so I had my appointment on the 25th of January, last Thursday, and I got scheduled for surgery on the 5th, this coming Monday. Mm-hmm. And they're going to remove 60% of my pancreas, my spleen, my gallbladder. But, and then after 6 weeks, they're going to follow with chemo, starting the chemo, radiation, therapy stuff. But I asked him, okay, so after all this, what does it look like, my outlook? And he said he expects 100% survival, or I don't know how you can say 100%, but he's very hopeful that everything will be taken care of. And I'm just so grateful for your prayers, and thank you. And then, I found a wonderful cathedral in San Francisco that I went to, St. Dominic's.
Oh,
and
nice.
You had said that Divine Mercy, you love that. Jesus, I trust in you. And so St. Dominic's, I was looking over the cathedral after I attended there and praying, and here it was this Divine Mercy painting of Jesus, and then the words right below, Jesus, I trust in you. And that was right before my appointment, because I went there first thing in the morning, and then my appointment was scheduled for 1. So, and they were able to get, my pre-op testing done the next day, and then I was able to fly back home to Oregon and to rest before surgery. So I'm just very, very grateful, and feel very strong and hopeful. And my family is scared, but they're hopeful too, which is wonderful.
Well, you're demonstrating, first of all, your name being joy, so you're keeping the joy. You are demonstrating that hope and that peace, and I love that. And Jesus, we trust in you, and so we are joining you in that prayer, and we're going to pray for all the medical staff around you, everything that you are going to be experiencing. We want it to be a joy-filled process in all things, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks for taking the time to call in, Joy. As you know from the show, we have the Take Two family around the world. We'll be lifting you up in prayer. But what great news. That prognosis just sounds fantastic. And it really is a time
big
for Joy.
surgery. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, definitely. Time for Joy and her family and all of us to trust. Jesus, I trust in you for sure.
Well, and here's the thing. We could be going into these really difficult situations, and we can go in with a sense of fear and angst and all sorts of things. Or we can go in saying, no, we're going to experience joy, peace, love, everything. The fruits of the Spirit, folks. We'll be right back on Unscripted here on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Stay with us.
Here's a quote from Mother Angelica's perpetual calendar. I have to have the opportunity of pain. I have to have the opportunity to be patient, to be loving, to be compassionate. I have to have opportunities. When I miss those opportunities, I blame it on this one. I blame it on time. I blame it here. I blame. The opportunity goes and never comes back. See, I have to have an opportunity for grace. Mother's perpetual calendar features an inspirational message for each day of the year. It's available at EWTNRC.com.
Father Capodanno was a Marine chaplain in the Vietnam War. His Marines loved him because he always put his life second to their needs. A battle broke out where 500 Marines were surrounded by 2,500 North Vietnamese army. One man was about to be killed when Capodanno picked him up, threw him through the air into a ditch, and saved his life. Another man was hit with shrapnel. When Capodanno got up to him, a bubble of peace descended. All he heard was the chaplain's voice. God is with us. Someone will get you out. Father Capodanno didn't make it out that day. He was running to minister to a medic and was shot 27 times in the back. He got the Medal of Honor. The USS Capodanno was named after him. He's been declared Servant of God by the Catholic Church. His name is in the Vietnam War Memorial, and the only way to see it is to kneel. The way he died is how we're supposed to live. This is Chris Stefanik from RealLifeCatholic.com on EWTN Radio.
The EWTN Warriors Rosary is a fitting tribute to all the spiritual warriors who have stood by us over the years. Each rosary is a unique creation. Get your Warriors Rosary today at EWTNRC.com.
Hi, this is Janet Williams. You don't have to be a woman to enjoy Women of Grace tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern here on EWTN Radio. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
It's Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, and we're glad you're listening. And if there's something that is kind of prompting you to maybe call in and want to discuss here on the program today, you set the table with your topics of interest. 833-288-3986 is the number. 833-288-3986. Elizabeth has been holding patiently in New Hampshire, listening on Sirius XM 130 this afternoon. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, thank you very much for taking my call.
Sure.
I just have a quick question about the Freemasons. When I went through Curcio, the group said, "Oh no, you don't want anything to do with the Freemasons." And then I noticed in our local Catholic Facebook group that someone was talking about Freemason breakfasts they had, and they said, "Oh no, they're fine. We have a relationship with the Knights of Columbus." And I just thought maybe Debbie, with her experience with the demonology, or you yourself, you might be able to just give me a little information on Freemasons. Are they Catholic affiliated? Are they something that is okay to...
No. Actually, it's really problematic, Elizabeth. Actually, there's a lot of documentation and information out there so that people can navigate this. And I know that there have been a lot of organizations that have tried to team up, if you will, or, having some kind of partnership, like they share a building together or they share a certain project together. It's very dangerous on many levels. So here's what I'm going to suggest, Elizabeth, if you can do this. I will, after the show, I'll pull 2 articles that can really help you, and you can take them to that Knights of Columbus Council and share with them that this is not correct Catholic teaching at all. If that's indeed what they're doing, is somehow, sharing that this is somehow okay. It's not. It's very dangerous, and it would take a whole entire show. Adam and I did, I think, 2 shows on Freemasonry, on the spirit world. You can look those up on the archives of the podcasting of EWTN, the spirit world, and you can look those up. We dedicated 2 episodes to the Freemasons, but I will post, I'll send Ace McKay, our producer, these 2 articles, and he will, he's so quick and great at it. He'll get them up on take2show.com, and then you could take those, and that'll be a starting conversation point to maybe help the people in the club on that online group, and also help if indeed somehow the Knights of Columbus are involved with them. Does that help, Elizabeth?
So much. Oh, I am so grateful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's very dangerous, and it stands opposed to everything we believe in as Catholics. Do you know anything about the Freemasons, Jerry?
Well, I know quite a bit. I do know that the Code of Canon Law, at one point, 1917 Code of Canon Law was explicit in imposing a penalty of excommunication for joining Masonic Lodge, and because the revised Code of Canon Law was not explicit on that point, a lot of people assumed that it had been abrogated, but it had not. And so the Doctrine of the Faith, Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, came out with a statement in 1983.
83, I believe.
83, saying that the penalty was still in force. So
of
the
grave
church
sin.
does take it very, very seriously. Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
there's not excommunication is not imposed for that many things.
Yeah, it's just very dangerous on many levels, Elizabeth. I would stay far away from it if indeed they are Freemasons. Some say some use that word loosely. You have to really make sure, because I don't think they understand a lot of it. But I would kind of distance yourself from a group that is aligned anywhere with those beliefs.
Thank you so much. This information is so helpful. I will take the information and I'll pass it on to some of the knights that I know. I just didn't want the younger gentlemen who sometimes get attracted to the free breakfast and scholarship breakfast. You don't want to get the youth involved in that, where our Knights of Columbus tends to be an older group. And I just thought, is this really something you want to say is okay to do on a Facebook page as Catholic? So I can't thank you enough. Thank you very much for what you do.
Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Well, that's kind of like the Shriners Hospital, right? That's the public kind of poster face for the Freemasons, and it's very, you got to really research things and who's behind everything. And so something going out front in the public may sound great, and it is. Those hospitals are fabulous. They're helping children. I mean, everybody wants to help children, but behind it, there's real spiritual issues with it.
Yeah. Okay, glad we could help out with that. 833-288-3986. Unscripted, what would you like to discuss today on the program? Matt Gubensky is waiting by the phone for you to call 833-288-3986. Okay, Jim on Long Island, I should say, listening on Sirius XM 130. Jim, thanks for waiting. Welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate the program. And it's more, I guess I'm going to be asking you for your job coaching aspect. Because my wife and I'm an old Catholic, so I'm not ever leaving the church, would never even consider it, that type of thing. But I have a gay daughter. I have 3 daughters. And through my whole life, I've listened to the Catholic Church with the gay thing. It always made me a little angry that they're still God's people, and they had sort of that negative attitude toward them. And so, of course, she's never been to the church. But for me, my wife and I were talking about getting our wedding vows renewed. And after I thought about it, when I thought about what the priest did, I was an altar boy many, many years, for 4 years when I was a kid. Went to Catholic school and through 8th grade. But what the priest did back, and I guess the court cases are still going on. It kind of drew a line for me of like, I believe in all the sacraments, but there's something that took something out of me that I don't want to deal with the priest anymore. I'm not buying their gig, so to speak. I'm not buying their, I know I can go to God directly. I don't need a priest to go to God directly. But I used to think that there was a spiritual element of it, not just, and I respect them because I know, I respect what the priests do, but it took something out of me that, and again, I'm not saying I'm not going to church or anything like that. I'm going to follow all the rules to the dime, but I guess it just ticked me off that they can criticize gay people, which ultimately, in my argument, is who cares about people's sex life, but nonetheless. And meanwhile, the priests are doing what they were doing in that other thing, and it's like, well, just ignore that. Let's just focus why we're not going to accept gay people. And I like what St. Francis did. I mean, Pope Francis, in the right. I know that's very controversial, not for me. But so, what do you say? And there might be other people like me that see this. Sure. I don't want to say hypocrisy, but it just doesn't feel right. And so I said, no, we're not going to get them blessed. I'm done with that stuff.
Okay, so a couple things I just wanted to ask you for clarification purposes, Jim. Is this a convalidation that you're having, or just that you're just going to meet with a priest and do some kind of informal renewal of vows? Is this an actual convalidation that you went through the annulment process and everything, and you became in line with the church and its teachings, and then you're going to have a convalidation?
No. It was just going to go there because I'm very old school about, like Mary and just having, my house is full of statues, but just having the blessing. I like all my things I like all my medals blessed. I like all my statues of Mary and everything else. No, it was more to be an informal thing, get the family together. And I thought about it. I'm not going to live like a hypocrite anymore about what I feel in my heart that they screwed up royally on that. And yet they still are pointing fingers at people that they shouldn't be pointing at fingers. This is a lovely woman, like a lot of them are. I mean, I'm very familiar with the gay community.
Right, but
so
Jim,
I'm not buying that gig anymore.
Oh, okay. I understand. I understand where you're come from. Is the human error and what people do in their sinful nature with the choices they make. And that includes, what priests, if they make their choices, or lay people or whatever. I totally understand your come from. But I really just want to talk to you soul to soul, okay? And that is that this is your marriage. It sounds like a 20-year anniversary. I think that's what I read. A beautiful sacramental marriage, and you want to have it blessed, just to have that beautiful stream of graces. This is about you, Jim, and your sacramental marriage. Okay, please, I'm begging you, don't allow, not so good priests or not so good laity or not so good shepherds or not so good whatever, okay, people making mistakes and things happening, because there are people that are really doing it well and doing it in line with God, and they're winning God's favor for doing it the right way. And what I mean by that is everybody, I think if we're formed even a tiny bit in the faith, Jim, we know what's right with God and we know what's not right with God. It's really quite simple. Okay, so we know what is pleasing to God. And honestly, Jim, I don't really think about other priests or laity or anybody else, not even some of my family members and extended family members. I work on my own soul and my relationship with God. And you have a beautiful marriage. Don't let any person or anything, burst that bubble. This is a beautiful thing you have with God, with the graces. And if we can separate that and focus on that, I think you would be a much more at peace, a Catholic. Otherwise, if we get caught up in the priest scandal, or this is what's happening, or what came out of the Vatican or whatever, we're going to get all over the place, and we're not going to focus, and our relationship with God, it gets strained. Do you see where I'm going with this, Jim? You almost have to separate it. What do you think?
No, I understand what you're saying. And it makes sense. It does, and I'm glad you're saying it. My only little, I guess it's because it's a daughter. It's not like it's a friend. So I've lived with this for 40 years, and it just, it's like when you draw that line and say, I'm done with this. I sort of like, I drew a line, and I don't even know where it came from. It just sort of like ebbed out of me, like as if it was like enough.
Right, right.
I don't know. So, but no,
Right,
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I certainly will talk to my wife about that. Because
Okay,
I'm the one
okay.
that still go either way. It's me that sort of said, I'm going to finally stand
Yeah.
firm on this and make a decision. Because I'm so superstitious about old Catholic. I grew up in a family where you lost something, you buried a statue, and you prayed, and and all that. And we all went to church, like 5 kids, and the parents lined up religiously every Sunday. So I mean, that's not changing. But
Yeah, all I could add, Jim, to what Debbie said is just, like she said, the only one who would miss out on something here would be you and your wife, I think, because, it is really about, your marriage, your vows, and the graces that will come with that. And, who knows, God could do, the more grace that we have in our lives, the more God is going to work in our lives, and we're going to be closer to Him and understand His will and His ways. And it's all about seeking holiness personally, and Jim, of course, in a marriage, the role of the spouses is to get the other one to heaven. So you've got a chance to get some real beautiful graces here. So I would echo what Debbie said. I would encourage you to prayerfully just rethink that and maybe go ahead and move forward with that renewal of vows.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks,
You're
Jim.
very
Thanks
welcome,
for
yeah.
trusting us with this. We appreciate it so very much. We're journeying together as the body of Christ, and that's how we want to roll here on Take Two. So thank you, Jim.
Yeah. 833-288-3986. Let's go to...
We have a deacon.
Yeah, Deacon Paul is calling from the West Coast, listening on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Deacon Paul.
Hi, Deacon Paul.
Hi, good morning. Hi, how are you both doing?
Doing well. How
Great.
about you?
Good. I'm doing great. I just wanted to have a little bit of response for Jim. I know he had a hard time with all the abuse of what happened with the church. My personal story with that, when I heard about the abuse, I became a deacon to actually show that there are good people that represent what they believe. And I went through a lot of flack of joining the church from not only coworkers but friends because of all that. But I still stood by what I felt, because it goes a lot deeper than that. It goes to the more spiritual level of souls. I also have a brother-in-law who is gay, and also have gay family friends. And the thing is that they are still people, and we pray for their souls. Not condemning anybody, but it's like we have to do what we have to do to take care of others. And that's why when you feel something so strong, you don't leave something that you think is sinking. That's when you get stronger and plug up the holes and represent something stronger as what's in your heart. Don't deny people of who they are, because they're still God's children. But at the same time, we have to be strong in our faith and not let what other people's wrongs affect us, because you have it in your own family, you have it all over the place, but you still pray for those people who need help, even if it is clergy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, you just inspired just a couple quick thoughts from me, Deacon Paul. First of all, thank you for calling in. Thank you for being a deacon, especially swimming against the tide. You said a little bit you got some flack for doing that. Ultimately, we're responsible for our own souls. That doesn't mean we don't pray for other people. What I do without judging anyone is I just simply say, Father, bless him, bless her with whatever they need at this moment to know you, to love you, and to serve you. Whatever that is, wherever a person happens to be in their life, we are all sinful, we are all struggling, but we are all, as you said, children created by God in His image and likeness, and we must lead with love and lead with prayer. We must pray fervently, and like I said, it's just to me, it's just a very simple thing. Lord, if I just pray, whoever this person, bless this person where they are with whatever they need to draw near to you. And God knows better than any of us what that is. So I just kind of leave it in God's hands at that, Debbie. I don't know if you've got any.
No, I echo everything you're saying, and I agree, Deacon Paul. Beautiful what you were sharing for Jim. I hope Jim was listening, or he goes back and listens again. And that's what I just love about our clergy. You know, the ones that are really taking it on 100% and investing all of themselves and their souls into their ministry, like you, Deacon Paul. You know, it's gonna bear great fruit, and it is. And we have to stay with that and get stronger, not run away and not feel like it's going to change if we leave. It's going to get worse if we leave. So we must stay. And so, Deacon Paul, I totally affirm that, and thank you so much for calling in at just the right time.
And God bless you both.
Thank you, Deacon. Appreciate that.
Wouldn't you agree with that? If you jump, it's not going to help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't help the situation.
Well, if you happen to just tune in, or maybe you can't listen live, maybe this is a rare occasion when you can listen to our show live. It does encore Take Two with Jerry and Debbie at midnight Eastern Time on most of these EWTN stations. So make a note of that. Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you. In fact, maybe you listened today, you called in and you got on the show and you want to hear how you sounded, but you can listen a little bit later on at midnight. Listen to yourself on the radio.
Yeah. Wheeling, in Houston, Texas. I hope I got your name correct. And from Guadalupe Radio Network. Welcome.
You did. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I have too much to ask, but I'm just thinking about my best friend. She have a teen. I think he around 18, 19 now. He said my best friend asked him to go to church. He went, but he said he did not believe in what the Catholic teaching, and he support all the transgender, the gay issue, and abortion and all that. So my friend really, I know God gives her the endurance. He keep on trusting God and prayer. But it's really torn her heart because that is the oldest son, and he still have younger brother and sister. Parallel with that, her husband they live in the same house for at least like 10 years now, but he did not attend the family activity, not even go to confession, and there's no communication between my best friend and him. So it seemed like it's a lot for her to teaching her children and try to like take care of the oldest son, so that and then her husband. So she's really afraid that for both of them about their soul. And she said that it's nothing. Everything on earth is just temporarily, and her job is as a wife and mom. She doesn't want her son or husband, losing their soul, because so many years they did not like go back to the church. So today when I listened to your soul, and like when we asked to pray for people, it just like torn my heart when I think about her husband, her son, and on what she will do.
Mm-hmm.
So. I just ask a lot of people through prayer, can God change the husband and the son so that they can go back to the church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wei-Ling, thank you for your call. We can hear how this is burdening you, and well, it should. There's a lot of moving parts here, and the only thing that I can really, that really comes to my mind and my heart right now is just simply, if you can, in your mind, in your heart, you got all these people here that are at various places of wanting to be with God or not be with God, believe or not believe, and different relationship dynamics and all of that. I would say just grab them all, scoop them all up, bundle them together, and just kind of present them to the Lord. Mm-hmm. And the best place to do that is in Mass. If you go to Mass, certainly on weekends, but even daily Mass, we have the opportunity to place anybody or anything on that paten with the consecrated host, the body of Jesus, which is also the blood. They're both species in each one, but also in the chalice with the precious blood, and just offer them up to the Lord and just say, Lord, you know what all these dynamics are. better than I do, and you want them all fixed more than I do. And as Debbie suggested earlier on this episode of the show, ask Our Lady Undoer of Knots to be present there, because there is no matter that she doesn't care for, there's no matter that Jesus doesn't care for, that they can't handle, and nobody more powerful than, of course, Jesus and our Blessed Mother. So, Debbie, I don't know if you've got any.
I've got everything in the book, so just to know, be assured of our prayers, okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
a lot of prayers.
Be at peace, yes. We just got a message from one of our Take Two family members reminding me of Father Chris Alar. He did a video back about talking about the Catholic Church, and then sharing how it's like Noah's Ark. He said, and you got Noah's Ark. You want to stay on the Ark, 'cause even though it's messy and things happen there, but if you get off the Ark, you drown. So he did that as a comparison to the church. So that's very interesting.
Great analogy, yeah.
Great analogy.
Winding down, this Unscripted show will probably end with Mary Lee in Erie, Pennsylvania, listening on the Station of the Cross. Hello, Mary Lee. Welcome.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Hey, you guys had a caller on Monday during your show on out-of-body experiences, and the guy's name was Danny. He was an Iraqi war veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you remember him, Debbie?
Oh, yes. I asked him to email. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, go right ahead,
He
Marilyn.
needs to write a book. He needs to write a book, and that book has to go to Mel Gibson and Mark Wahlberg, because it would make a blockbuster. I mean,
completely agree.
so many people will need that. I mean, first of all, it shows how horribly our veterans are treated by our government, which has been going on for, over 100 years. But so many people are going to need that, because we're in a bad situation right now, and things are going to go to hell in a handbasket real quick. So people are going to need that to be able to hang on to that kind of faith that man has and had during this whole ordeal. I mean, he never should have been put through all what he was put through, but he was put through it to edify the rest of us and to teach the rest of us.
Right.
So if you can do anything to get him to write a book on that, I think it would be really, really very well received and very, very edifying for a whole lot of people.
I completely agree with you. And so, Danny in Virginia Beach, Virginia, if you're listening, or if your wife, I believe Kelly, is listening, please, you heard Mary Lee. You need to get a manuscript together, write a book, contact people. There are a lot of Christian film production companies, Mary Lee, that are taking these projects on. So that's exciting.
That would really, I think it would be a blockbuster. It'd be a cliffhanger. It really would be, and it would just show the glory of God.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah,
well, way
beautiful,
to go.
Yeah, yeah, that was the show this week that I wasn't on. It sounds like I missed a good one.
It's really good, really, really good. And we had a lot of beautiful testimonies and a lot of just wonderful stories of survival, thriving, really just a lot of strength. And that's what I love about the Take Two family. You guys are so strong. I love you guys so very much. We both do. I think I can adequately and speak for Jerry, because we talk about you guys all the time in a good way. We always say how much we love you.
Yeah, I was just going to say exactly what you just said. That's the beauty of this show. It's you, the Take Two family. So thanks for making this another great episode, and we really appreciate your listenership, your prayers for us. Please, you come to us on our prayer shows, like tomorrow. We have our Whom or What Are You Praying For show. We'll do that tomorrow. So bring your prayer intentions. Be thinking and praying overnight about what you would like to pray for, or whom you would like to pray for, and we will offer all of those up tomorrow on the show. But like I say, we rely on your prayers as well, because we're here. We're human beings just like you. We struggle. We are attacked by the enemy a lot for doing the work that we do. So we appreciate you lifting us up. Please do so each and every day if you'd be so kind.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to the show team. Matt, you did an awesome job. Ace, as always, you're the best. And Rich on social media. Way to go, show team. And you guys, this is the end of January. Can you believe it? So tomorrow, whom or what are you praying for? Until then, have a beautiful and blessed day. We ask St. John Bosco, please pray for all of us.
Wondering if your past will forever define you? It doesn't have to. Go to standtalltoday.com